and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for clicking. So today I'm going to walk you through the objects in R. So our topic will be objects in R. So as you know, we have 5 types of objects in R, whereby the first one is vectors. The second one is lists. The third one is matrix. The fourth one is arrays. The fifth one is data frames. Right? So without wasting much of your time, let us head on straight to the first one, which is, name it as the first one, vectors, right? So to create a vector in R, we use a function. Let me show you the function. So we are creating vec1, vec1, and then we use this function C, right? So after you've typed that, you type your elements inside that function. Let's say you want to create a vector of numbers 1 to 5. So you can either type it manually, or you can just use the range, yes, like that, and you'll still get the same thing. So let us say our vector, vec1. So that's print so that you see, guys, that is our vector. Again, vector can be composed of numbers or strings or true false kind of data. So let me show you another type, another vector, vec2 is now going to be composed of strings. Let me give a string of names, let me say Alan and John. It does not waste much time in typing these names. So vec2, and you will see, you will get your vector. So if you want to see the types of these vectors, you'll say print. You want to print the class, and again, if you want the best version of R, you use RStudio, not you use the old version of R. Just download RStudio in their website. This is the best, because whenever you type something, you are given suggestions, so you just click. Yes, so let's head on to finding the type of the vector. So print class vec1, right? So you will notice that you're going to be given this type of vector to be numeric. See, class integer. Yes, because they are integers. This one is integers. To avoid typing vec2. Let us see the type of this vector. They are character, right? Because we use characters. Yes, I hope everyone has understood up to that point. If anyone has a question, please feel free to type your question in comments, and I'll be so happy to answer. Let us head on to the second data type. No, before we head to the second, let us go to matrix, because there are some of, yes. So the second one is, let me give some space so that everyone can see. So the second one is matrix. So again, when you are naming, use the type of data type you are trying to create, so that someone else can be able to read your code very well. So you're going to create matrix. So let us name it matrix 2. Matrix 2 will be composed of matrix. You just use the word matrix the way it is. You see, you've been given some there. So matrix, when you write your the matrix function, you see the types of arguments we are allowed to put in a matrix function. So the first one is data, which is your data you want to create matrix from. The end row, which is the number of rows of that matrix. The end call, which stands for the number of columns of your matrix. By row, if you turn it to true, you are telling your R to name your matrix, or to arrange your matrix row wise. If you turn it to false, it will arrange it in column wise. And then of course the name names, the dimension names. We are going to we are not going to create that. So let us head on to it. So the first one is create data. So data is create a vector of 4 numbers, 1 to 4. This is the easiest matrix anyone can create. So the first one is data. The second one is end row. As you can see there, end row, we want 2 rows. End call, we want 2 columns. And then by row, you see we've been given suggestion. That's the best thing about RStudio. So we turn that to be true. I'll show you how that one works. Matrix 2, no, mat 2. We want to print it and see how it looks like. So you've seen. So we want to focus on this by row, how it works. When you turn it to true, as you know, these numbers 1 to 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you say by row is equals to true, and we've specified to be the number of rows to be 2 and column 2, so it will start with the first 1, 2. 1, 2 will be given the first row, because we said by row is true. So name it row wise. So by row, 1, 2 will be given the first row, and 3, 4 will be given the second row. If you turn it to false, let me show you. If you turn it to false, let me show you how it will be. Now see, since you said by row is equals to false, it's like you're saying by column is true. So you name it column wise. 1, 2, the first 2 elements is given to the first column. 3, 4, second column. I hope everybody has understood up to that point. If you have any question, like I always say, head on to the comments and write your question. Now we head to the third type of object, which is lists. Right? Again, just like matrix, we use the function list when creating this type of object. So let us create list 1. List, or since we already have list 1, let us create list 2. List 2, we are going to just use list the way it is. So this list will contain, I want to create a list of numbers and characters. So the first one, you're going to create a list of characters 1 to 4, or even 1 to 3. Let's say 1 to 3, right? Inside this list, we will also want another list of characters, right? When I say characters, it means letters, right? So A, B, C. Now I want you to see our list the way it looks. List. Now see how RStudio works. It gives you suggestions, and then you print this one. You've seen? So the first element of our list is the numbers 1, 2, 3. Inside that list, there's also another list. Sorry guys, I have to charge my laptop before it goes off. a minute, just give me a minute. Sorry guys about that. We are now set. I hope you've seen the first element is 1 2 3, that is this one. The second element is A, B, C, right? You've seen. Or you could just create, let me just create list 3 so that you understand. You can just create even a list of these characters only. So we have that list, and then copy these ones. Now let us print so that you can see. You see, the first element is the first character, second element is B, third element is C. I hope everyone has seen. If you have a question, leave it in the comments section and I will happily be able to help you. Let us go to the, is it that object or what? Yes, arrays. Just like list and matrix, when creating an array, you use the function array. That's the way it is. These things are very simple. So array 1, it seems we have array 1, so array 2, just array and array. See, an array, want to create array of numbers 1 to 3. This is going to be our data, and the next is we want dimension to be, we want to create an arrays of 1 to 3, numbers 1 to 3, but the dimensions, we want 3 rows, 3 columns, and 3 number of matrix, because array is a group of matrix, 3 matrices. So let me print so that you see what I mean. Print so that you see what I mean. You see? So our array has elements 1 to 3, like you see. These elements has 3 rows, 3 columns, and 3 number of matrices, because it's an array. I hope you guys have understood. As always, if you have a question, just raise it in comment section and I will give you the answer. Okay, and the last one is data frame. The last object, data frame. So just like lists and arrays and matrices, when creating a data frame, try to, you can say df, because you cannot type the whole word, or df1. That's our data frame 1 is created by just using data.frame function. You see, we've been given the option. That's the best thing about RStudio, data.frame. So in this case, before creating a data frame, you might want to create some list of vectors here if you don't want to type it inside here, so that your codes become more readable. So let me show you what I mean. So first create a list of vectors. Let's say A or vec A. Vec A is composed of let's say is composed of, I hope you guys still remember how to create a vector. Vec A is composed of names. Let us give two names, that is Alois and Alan, right? So the second vector, that is vec B. Create another, let us give numbers, let's say 1 and 2. And another thing about data frames, the vectors should have the same length. Don't put 3 characters here and 2 numbers. Your vector will not look good. It will have some missing values, and we will not want that. Another vector, the last vector 3. Want to create a vector of true false, so that you see a data frame can accommodate almost everything. And another thing, when creating this true false, you don't use like characters. False, leave it the way it is. So here you just pass these names of vectors. So pass vec A. So you are given options. The best thing about R is to just type 2 letters or 3, and you are given we've given vec A, now vec B, the other one is vec 3, right? Vec 3. So let us print our data frame so that you see what I'm trying to show you guys. Object df1 not found. What might be the reason? Vec A, vec B, vec 3. Oh, we've not printed this, right? Yeah, we've printed. So now we run the data frame. Now you see the data frame has 3 columns. First column is vec A, which was composed of the names. Vec B, the numbers 1, 2. Vec 3 is true false. Hope you've seen, guys. If you want to access, let's say, the first column, vec A, so you just say df1. Let me just give you this. Anyway, there'll be another lesson of accessing accessing elements inside these objects. I'll give you so let me show you this. df1, and then you want to access the first column, right? So you say comma first column, right? Because this one's like a row column, Roman Catholic. So this before the comma is rows, after is column. So you want to access the first column. Let us see how that will go. Alois and Alan. If you want to access, let me give you the last one so that we finish this thing. We don't eat into your time. You want to access the first row. Let me show you what I mean. So you will come here, right? So if you don't give anything here, for example here in columns, it means you're saying I want everything from first row. For the second one, I want everything from the first column, right? So this second one, I want everything from the first row. See? Yes. The first row was 1, it has Alois, 1 and 2. And that is it, guys, for this lesson. If you like this lesson, please give a like,